The Sun is an unimaginably immense nuclear reactor that has fueled life on Earth for billions of years. But what if, in some cataclysmic moment, the Sun suddenly exploded? Though this scenario is extremely unlikely, it's still fascinating to contemplate. From the destruction of Earth's atmosphere to the disruption of the solar system, the consequences of a sun explosion would be devastating and unimaginable. Come along as we explore the possible outcomes of this hypothetical cosmic catastrophe. Number 1, the first 8 minutes. If the Sun were to explode right now, we wouldn't know it for about 8 minutes. That's because light and other forms of radiation from the Sun take roughly 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel the 93 million miles to Earth. Until that time passes, everything would seem perfectly normal, our skies would remain bright, and life would go on as usual. But once those 8 minutes were up, chaos would unfold instantly. The Sun's light would vanish, plunging Earth into sudden darkness. If the explosion sent a powerful burst of energy our way, it could wreak havoc on our atmosphere, possibly stripping it away. At the same time, the gravitational pull of the Sun would also disappear. However, just like light, gravity doesn't travel instantly, it moves at the speed of light. That means for those 8 minutes, Earth would keep orbiting the now non-existent Sun as if nothing had happened. Number 2, the immediate effects. If the Sun were to explode, the immediate consequence would be an intense burst of radiation that would sweep through the solar system at the speed of light. This radiation would consist of high-energy gamma rays, X-rays, and ultraviolet light, all of which are incredibly harmful to life and technology. Since light takes about 8 minutes to travel from the Sun to Earth, the first sign of the explosion would be this deadly radiation, arriving almost instantly after the event. The Earth's atmosphere provides some protection against solar radiation, but an explosion of this magnitude would overwhelm it, potentially stripping away parts of the ozone layer and exposing the planet to lethal doses of ultraviolet radiation. This would cause catastrophic damage to living organisms, as DNA would be directly affected, leading to mass extinctions. Beyond just biological effects, the intense burst of radiation would also disrupt all electronic systems. Satellites, power grids, and communication networks would likely be fried in an instant, plunging humanity into technological chaos. Any astronauts in space at the time would have no chance of survival, as their spacecraft would provide little shielding against such an extreme radiation event. Number 3, total darkness and cold. The Sun is our main source of light, and without it, the entire planet would be shrouded in pitch-black darkness. The Moon, which only shines because it reflects sunlight, would vanish from the night sky. But darkness would be the least of our problems. Without the Sun's heat, temperatures would drop fast. Within a week, Earth's average surface temperature could fall below -18 degrees Celsius. In a year, it could plummet to -73 degrees Celsius, turning the planet into a frozen wasteland. The oceans would eventually freeze over, but liquid water might remain deep beneath the ice, just like on some of Jupiter's and Saturn's moons. Life on the surface wouldn't stand a chance. Plants would die without sunlight for photosynthesis, and animals, including humans, would struggle to survive. Only creatures adapted to extreme cold, like some deep-sea organisms living near hydrothermal vents, might endure for a while. Number 4, Earth would drift away into space. Right now, Earth orbits the Sun because of its massive gravity, but if that force were to suddenly disappear, our planet would continue moving in a straight line at about 30 kilometers per second instead of following its usual elliptical path. As Earth drifts through space, the effects would be catastrophic. The atmosphere, without solar energy to keep it stable, would eventually collapse, leaving Earth exposed to the harsh vacuum of space. Without the Sun's gravitational influence, Earth could eventually get captured by another star's gravity, collide with an object in space, or simply wander aimlessly in the cold, dark void. Life as we know it would be completely unsustainable. The only chance for survival would be deep underground or near geothermal heat sources, but even those wouldn't last forever. Number 5, the other planets. The Sun is the massive gravitational anchor that keeps all the planets in orbit, and without it, everything would change in ways that are both catastrophic and fascinating. Any planets close to the Sun, like Mercury and Venus, would be vaporized almost instantly. As for the outer planets, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, they wouldn't be destroyed immediately, but their fates wouldn't be much better. Without the Sun's gravity holding them in orbit, they would be flung into space, wandering as rogue planets. The gas giants, like Jupiter and Saturn, might retain some of their thick atmospheres for a while, but without the Sun's heat, they would become even colder than they already are. Any moons that depend on their planet's warmth, like Europa and Enceladus, would freeze solid. Then there's Pluto, which is already on the outermost edge of the solar system and is used to freezing temperatures, would become an even darker, icier wasteland. Eventually, the shockwave from the explosion would spread outward, tearing through whatever remained. The solar system as we know it would cease to exist, and the planets would either drift endlessly through space, or collide with other celestial bodies over millions or billions of years. Number 6, could humans survive? For humans to have any chance of survival, we would need to escape Earth before the disaster. Spacefaring civilizations with established colonies on other planets, or even on space stations would have a head start. The most viable option would be moving to a place that doesn't rely on the Sun, such as underground habitats heated by geothermal energy, or space stations powered by nuclear energy. Some of Jupiter's or Saturn's moons, like Europa or Titan, might be suitable if we had advanced technology to harness their resources. Massive self-sustaining space stations or underground cities on Mars or beyond could be humanity's refuge. These habitats would need their own energy sources, advanced life support systems, and a way to grow food without sunlight. Hydroponic or lab-grown food would replace traditional agriculture, and oxygen would have to be generated artificially. Of course, the loss of the Sun would eventually make the entire solar system uninhabitable. If humans wanted to survive long-term, we'd need to leave the solar system entirely, seeking refuge around another star. That would require generational ships or faster-than-light travel, technologies far beyond what we currently have. Number 7, will the Sun even explode? The idea of the Sun exploding might sound like the ultimate doomsday scenario, but in reality, our Sun is not the type of star that ends its life in a massive explosion. Stars explode in what's called a supernova, but only if they are massive enough, at least 8 times the mass of the Sun. Our Sun, while the center of our solar system and crucial to life on Earth, is simply too small for that fate. Instead of exploding, the Sun will go through a much calmer, though still dramatic transformation. In about 5 billion years, it will enter the red giant phase. During this stage, it will swell up, becoming hundreds of times larger than its current size. As it expands, it will likely engulf Mercury and Venus, and possibly even Earth. After the red giant phase, the Sun will shed its outer layers, creating a beautiful planetary nebula, a glowing shell of ionized gas. What remains of the Sun will shrink down into a white dwarf, a small, dense remnant that will slowly cool over trillions of years. So, to answer the question, no, the Sun will not explode. Instead, it will gracefully transform, burning out in a more peaceful and predictable way. While that might not be as dramatic as a supernova, it's still a fascinating ending for the star that has sustained life on Earth for billions of years. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.